Welcome everyone to the Awaken Catholic Show. My name is Nick De La Torre, and today I have Larry with me from the Brother Francis Organization, which is actually called the Herald Entertainment. If you don't know about Brother Francis, you're doing life wrong. Let me just tell you, my wife and I, our kids, we love Brother Francis. Brother Francis is awesome. We have encountered Brother Francis unformed. I'm sure that there's a lot more to be said here, which we will make sure is said, all after this. Welcome everyone to the Awaken Catholic Show. I am your host, Nick De La Torre, and before we dive into this conversation, I just got to let you know about our sponsors, Select International Tours. Select is making it possible for this episode and every other episode we've live streamed here from the MOMENTUM’21 conference with the Catholic Marketing Network. Thank you, Select, so much for sponsoring our work at Awaken Catholic and our work here at the conference. Visit selectinternationaltours.com/awaken to learn more about the pilgrimages we're going on with them and so many other speakers, authors, and podcasters. Selectinternationaltours.com/awaken. Larry, welcome to the Awaken Catholic Show.
Thank you for having me on.
Here, I'm going to get you right up on this guy.
Yes, sir.
So I got so excited. We met each other. We just kind of ran into each other in the hall.
That's correct.
And you introduced yourself. I introduced myself. We shook hands. And you asked me what I did, and I asked you what you did. And when you said Brother Francis, I was like, hold the phone. Hold the phone. Brother Francis? I love Brother Francis. And I just got so excited to have this conversation. So talk to me. How did Brother Francis come to be? Because there are not a lot of Catholic cartoons that are like doing good stuff.
And you hit the nail on the head there, Nick. Here's the thing.
Hey, Brother Francis.
Yeah, exactly. So many people come up and tell us that song goes through their head constantly. It's hard to get it out. Like a lot of the songs we have, they're just very melodic, they grab you.
Yeah.
And that's what we wanted, was something that would grab Catholic kids so they could say, this series is for us.
Yes.
Robert, there's three of us that are the principals in the company. Robert Fernandez is the one who dreamed up Brother Francis. And he was an altar boy when he was young. And he said there were so many things he didn't understand about his Catholic faith growing up, and he didn't want other children not to know about how rich and how beautiful the Catholic faith is. And so he decided that Brother Francis would teach the children about their faith. But he wanted it done in a fun way. He wanted it done in a way that the kids would want to see the same video over and over and over again, which is usually the case.
Yeah.
Parents will tell us that their kid will watch some of our Brother Francis episodes 20 times, and they'll want it again the next week.
Yeah.
And what we think is that if we ground kids in good media when they're young, like the verse in the Bible that when they're old they won't depart from it, if we give them a firm foundation in their faith, then the chances that they're going to stick around and not give in to the ways of the world are greatly enhanced.
Yeah, well, and even to go beyond that, rather than the negative viewpoint, on the positive end, the chances that they're going to cling to the Lord and remain in relationship with the Lord, I totally see that and agree with it. You know, I've talked so many times, both in the sessions that I was speaking at today, and then in just conversation with people, like in my own experience, what I didn't get growing up was a real understanding, and it's not because my parents didn't try, but there was just something in the equation that was missing. I didn't understand that God was really alive. Like, it wasn't just a nice idea. It wasn't a history lesson. Like, Jesus Christ is alive in the flesh.
Exactly.
And that he's an active part of our lives.
That's exactly right.
And I don't know what the missing ingredient was, because I know that my parents tried and I went to Catholic school, but I think that it's art like this, it's material like this that can really make a difference to help the kids connect the dots. So I really love that you're doing this.
Well, and I think, again, you touch on something very important, and that is that the world is always going to pull people away from God.
Yes.
That's the job of the world.
Yes.
That's why we're not to love the world, we're to love God. That's why since the Garden of Eden, the devil and the world is trying to pull us away from God. And we see the media and the bad effect it's having on children today. Kids are walking around playing war games.
Yeah.
They're walking around killing people on video. And somebody has to wake up to realize that that media is not helping kids get closer to God. It's helping I mean, it's helping kids get further and further away
Well,
from God.
and even other examples than just video games, like looking at, if you watch Nickelodeon right now or
Mm-hmm.
Disney, you are getting pummeled
That's right.
with viewpoints
exactly
that are
right.
completely contrary to human dignity, completely contrary to Catholic social teaching, whether it's as simple as the advertisements for a toy that are so scientifically, acutely engineered to make that kid want what they're seeing on the screen
That's
and,
right.
and turn the kid into such a consumer.
That's right.
And then another examples, the commercialization and the objectification of women that they might stumble on as channels are being
right.
flipped in commercials like that, or even in just television programming. We watched Nickelodeon. We were staying in a cabin one time, and there was terrible weather out, so we turned the TV on, and I think SpongeBob SquarePants was turned on. And when it goes to the commercial break, literally on Nickelodeon, knowing that the audience was child, there was propaganda about transgenderism and gender ideology and rainbow this and rainbow that, and I could not believe my eyes. My wife and I looked at each other like, what the crap has happened here?
That's right.
When we were kids, it was not like that.
No, that's
so
right.
It's absolutely horrifying, and so let's talk about your solution.
Yeah, and so, first of all, you have to understand that to create an animated series is very expensive.
Yes.
People don't understand the cost of animation. If you were to see a Hollywood movie, an animated movie, it probably costs $200 to $300 million to create.
Yeah.
Okay, people don't understand what goes into producing good media. And the reason I bring that up is that we knew that for Brother Francis to be successful, it had to be God. We couldn't do it. We didn't have any advertising budget. We didn't buy any ads. We didn't advertise on the internet or on television or even on radio. We didn't have the money. We were starting with nothing. We created it.
I don't know what that's like at all, Larry.
Well, we created it basically for a number of years. We didn't take a salary. We had to make money on the side.
I don't know what that's like at all, Larry.
But my point is, we knew that it had to be God, that we
Yes.
couldn't do it. And so what we did, again, there are three of us that are the principals of the company, and we just decided that I would drop everything, and all I would do would be to get on the phone and on the emails and just send out cold calls. And it was pretty discouraging the first few months because everybody was like, Catholic animation, there's no such thing. They all are used to watching Protestant animation.
Yes, and even that is not that great.
Yeah, there's some programs that are pretty good.
There's one that I know of that is actually very good, and the rest of them I'm just like, please stop.
Yeah. Yeah, and so the thing is that so we knew it had to be God.
Yeah.
And the first couple months on the phone, cold calls, I was driving everybody nuts. I was on the phone 7-8 hours a day. And then people started saying, okay, yeah, I'll see a sample. So I'd mail them a sample, and they'd start seeing it, and they'd tell other people, and they would tell other people, and they would tell other stores. And pretty soon, in about a year, we were in several hundred bookstores.
Wow.
And so it happened. And like I think you said earlier, or Kevin said earlier, when you have good material, it sells itself.
That's so true.
If you have an inferior product, you can still sell it, but you're going to spend a lot on advertising.
It just needs that initial exposure so
Correct.
that people see it and they're like, oh, wow. Yeah.
But when you have something that's wholesome, so what we did
Yeah.
with Brother Francis is we started what we call theology for children.
Hold that up for the camera on the left there.
Okay, there we go. Theology for children. So this is one of the latest releases. This is episode 19 of Brother Francis. We started out with the first episode called Let's Pray. It took everything we had to get it together. It teaches the children about prayer, how to make the sign of the cross, how to pray the rosary, about the Lord's Prayer. And we said, we'll see how it goes. It started doing well, so we said, okay, let's move on to Bread of Life, teaching the Eucharist to children. That really helped it gain momentum. Pretty soon, we did episode 3 on the Rosary, episode 4 on reconciliation, episode 5 on baptism, etc.
Yeah.
To where now we have 19 episodes, each of which teach something different. And then we decided also to expand the line.
Yeah, so wait, let me pause you there. That baptism episode was my first exposure to Brother Francis.
Okay.
Somebody gifted that to us when one of my kids was getting baptized, and I think it might have even been my first child, Lucia. She's 7 now. And when we saw that baptism episode, it was really amazing. And we actually watched it like over and over again. And is that the one where there's also a depiction of the Garden of Eden?
Yep.
The way that the storytelling is done there, and even artistically, how it's, I mean, we're talking about a couple of naked people. So, how you do that for a children's cartoon, it was done so well. And the story was, I mean, bringing us back to the garden to explain sin and why we needed that original sin wiped away in baptism. It was amazing. It was absolutely such an awesome entry point for us.
Well, and I would like to say too, Robert, who is our producer and director and who first thought of Brother Francis, he is an amazing storyteller. We also are the creators of the series Catholic Heroes of the Faith.
Yes,
the
that's
story
also
of Saint
great.
Perpetua, the story of Saint Patrick, the story of...
Is there one of Saint Augustine?
Saint Augustine.
Yes, we love that. Yes.
And the documentaries as well. Robert wrote them all. I don't know if you've ever seen Carlos Caterpillar. Robert wrote the series. He's a gifted, or the Jesus stories also. He's a gifted storyteller who has just yielded his life to God. And he will be the first to tell you that it's completely a work of God. He just has to get out of the way and let God do it through him. God has given him talents in storytelling, and he just wants to use it for God's glory.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
So what is your role?
I am the person in charge of all business, contracts, legal, finances, conventions. Until COVID, I was going to, for the last dozen years, I've gone to 6 to 10 conventions a year.
Wow.
And, like I said, we didn't have a big advertising budget. We had to just depend on God to come through for us, and he has.
Well, God bless you for your yes, because it's made a big difference. It's out there, and I know that people are enjoying it. I know that it's blessed our family, and I just want to consume more of it. Am I right in thinking that there's a little something funky going on with the availability of your show on Formed? Because it doesn't feel like I'm getting everything there.
That is correct. We've allowed Form to have 10 or maybe now 11 of the episodes.
Okay.
Because it's expensive to produce,
of course,
we have to bring money in to be able to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And so we get some money from streaming.
Yeah, but that's really not enough.
We also sell DVDs, and most of our videos are available for download now on our site.
Interesting.
And so for download and for rental.
So from the consumer end of it, I'll just share with you my experience of it. When I found it on Formed, because we were gifted the DVD, but then I saw it on Formed, and it never occurred to me that DVD is like a totally separate product, that it's its own organization. So when we found it on Formed, and I was like, why are there only like 3 episodes here? Like, I just want more of this. My kids want more of this. What's going on? Start flipping tables. No, but from the consumer end of it, it never occurred to me, look this up somewhere else. I would have bought the freaking DVDs. I just had no idea that I could. So
that's great.
Some food for thought. Make it more obvious or something on Formed. But man, I really appreciate that you guys are doing this and that you've sacrificed the way that you have. Similar sacrifice to what my wife and I are making right now to make Awaken happen. And is there anything else you want to tell the people?
Well, I would say go to our website, brotherfrancisstore.com. You'll see we have terrific hardcover books. We have great material for teaching the saints. On the back of the saint flashcards is the bio of each of 40 saints. We have 2 different books of saints. This coming Lent 2022, we'll release another episode of Brother Francis Lent, which has 40 meditations for Lent. We will also, by then, you see the white spots in this book. That's because it's in production, but you'll also see that it's a dynamic primer for Lent for children.
Fantastic.
So we have a lot of great stuff for families. Have you ever seen our rosary fans?
No.
Look, you hold the fan up like this, you pray an entire rosary.
Get out of here.
It's got all the mysteries, all the prayers of the rosary, and you'll see that we've had many people tell us this is the best way they've ever seen to teach children to pray the rosary.
Can you turn that a little bit more to show the camera?
There,
that's fantastic. What a cool interactive approach to that.
So we love coming up with unique products because we want to captivate the attention of children before the world grabs them.
Yeah, thank you for caring enough to do that. Larry, you are awesome. I would love to get to know the rest of your team one day. You guys are doing great and important work, and you're doing it well. So thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you very much.
Super interested to dive deeper into more of the content now that I know it exists for my kids, my family. And yeah, you're awesome, man.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time away from your booth to be
Thank
here.
you for this time.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Awaken Catholic Show. I have been Nick De La Torre. This has been Larry Zielke. Zielke, dang it. And before you go, everyone, this whole thing is made possible by Select International Tours. Visit selectinternationaltours.com/awaken. And just before you press stop on this video, I need you to know, Jesus loves you.